action. So, what we're going to talk about today is I literally am going to play an open that I got during a test drive. That's the only time I even cold call anymore, is when test driving potential candidates to work with us.
Alright.
And I want to play this for you because it is literally verbatim the training. Everything I do, you'll see the training. So I want to show it to you so you guys know what the hell you're trying to accomplish when you're talking to these people.
Was it a girl?
No, it was a gentleman. In Alaska, of all places. Here we go.
Be covered. I can help you.
Hey, how you doing today? I was looking to see a buck.
That's me.
Oh, perfect. Just the man I was looking for.
Woo! I stopped right there. Why did I stop right there? Can anybody guess?
You have enthusiasm.
And what else?
Confidence.
What else?
Conviction.
Woo! So immediately. And he hit it. He hit it. Different. Alright? So everybody, mark it down. We're going through this one at a time. Very first thing we need to convey from the moment we say hello is confidence, conviction, enthusiasm, and most importantly, being different. Everybody jot that down. I don't care how many times we've written it down. You can never write it down enough. When you're bulletproof like me, and you constantly are just redlining all the time, I will stop having you write it down. But until then, you guys are going to write that down. Alright? That's right. Let's keep going.
Doug, my name's Kelson Penn. I'm actually calling to introduce myself with my company, Synergy Direct. How are you today?
Well, waiting for somebody to get to their house so we can clean some carpet.
Oh, perfect. So I'm going to be real quick. I got to run to a meeting here in about 5 minutes. But...
Oh! Wow! What did I do right there?
You're busy.
Busy.
Being busy.
Exactly. And you hear it in my voice. I don't have to say I'm busy. You just hear it come through the phone, and I say, oh yeah, no, that's perfect, because I got to run to a meeting in 5 minutes myself.
What I wanted to do was reach out to introduce myself. I do internet consulting, Doug. I create and manage custom internet strategies specific to carpet cleaners. What I'm doing today is reaching out to companies I've never spoke to in the past, just looking to do a brief introduction and a needs analysis, see what you're doing, what you're not doing. And based off of what I learned, if I see some areas where I can help you out, I'd love to schedule later in the week that works for us both and show you exactly what I can do. And if you love what I got, great. If not, hey, it's no big deal. But real quick, Doug, how long have you been in business for?
Since 1984.
84, so that's 28 years. That's fantastic. And right now, what do you focus on? I mean, obviously carpet cleaning, but do you do tile grout, upholstery, water damage?
Okay. Now, you guys have had a habit of putting your thoughts into their mouth. Now, this is one of the few questions where you want to do that. You don't want to do it when you're asking them how many clients they work with. You don't want to do it when you're asking what their average revenue is. You don't want to do it when you ask them how many they'd like to reach. But when it comes to asking what type of jobs they do, the reason why I'll list off some of the services carpet cleaners do is why. Can you make a guess?
Marketing genius.
Oh!
Yeah.
Marketing genius. So they know that I know about them.
Right.
Does that make sense? Okay.
What other marketing I noticed on that part?
Right. Hey, guys, you know what we're going to learn is if we have order in this meeting and everybody speaks one at a time. Ted, you have the floor. Go ahead.
Yeah, I said another thing I noticed there is when he told you how long he'd been in business, you acknowledged him, but you didn't over-acknowledge him, and then went right back to what you needed from him.
Absolutely.
Very good.
What you guys will notice as I go through this, if you haven't noticed it yet, everything he tells me, I literally repeat back to him. Everything. Just like in the objection cycle.
We clean carpet and furniture.
Carpet furniture. Commercial residential?
About 90%. 90% of it is just carpet, and rarely commercial. I have like 2 or 3 jobs I do, but that's about it, because I don't want to do that, because that's night work.
Right, you don't like to, I hear that. So you're close to residential because you're not working crazy hours. And I know you're out there in Anchorage. You stay local to Anchorage? I know Alaska's a big place.
Yeah. Anchorage, and sometimes that's a lot of them in Palmer, but rarely, and quite a bit in Eagle River, which is like 12 miles.
So you like to stay within about 25 miles then, it sounds like.
Generally speaking, get beyond that, not much stuff.
I hear you. just forest the wilderness. And on average, I mean, how many clients would you say you work with in a month?
How many what?
Clients would you say you work with on average? And I don't need an exact number.
That's a really good question, and I don't really have an answer there. Hang on just a second.
No problem.
We probably, I'd say we average 4 a day would be pushing it. We average three a day.
Is that 5 days a week or 7 days a week?
That's more like 6.
6? So you're doing 18 a week, you know, you're doing, what is that, 72 a month?
Something like that.
That's not
I
good.
don't know that I'm not sure how close that would be to reality, but something.
Okay. It's a rough estimate.
Yeah.
What would be a realistic goal you would like to get to?
Now, do you guys notice, after I ask a question, I stop talking? Have you ever noticed, and it's a pure sign of intimidation, of nervousness, and of lack of confidence, when you ask a question 3 different ways before you even let them answer it?
Right.
You ever notice that?
Oh, yeah.
Like, so, you
I
know,
do that every day.
how do you follow up with your past clients? I mean, how do you keep in contact with them in the past? I mean, you know, what do you send out to talk to them? It's like, what the hell? You just asked me 3 different things. Exactly. Everybody's done it. I did it too.
I do it till they hang up.
That's why you guys
do it.
always are like,
You have to ask it once, you say boom, and if they don't get it, they will ask me, can you repeat the question? And then you can reword it.
Well, I'd really like to, but I've never attempted to get to where I need another van.
Okay, so you want, the goal is to get another van. Well, why?
Oh, they need one. To need one.
Oh, to need one, right. The business, and how many, would that be like 100 jobs a month you would need another van, or how many jobs would that be?
It would be more or less the same, because if you had 2 going and they were both busy, you'd be doubled up.
So you would want to go from 72 to 144 then?
That'd be good.
Okay.
Great.
You said, yeah, absolutely. That'd be awesome. And what has prevented you from being able to accomplish this in the past?
Oh! Snap! Who does that? That is so powerful, guys. I just added this to my game. Took my game to a whole new level.
88% sheet, huh?
I asked that question, exactly, Ted. I asked that question. What's prevented you from accomplishing this in the past?
Challenges.
Is to find out his challenges, find out his objections, find out what I'm dealing with before I have to deal with it.
Yes, sir.
Very powerful. So, you know, don't just use this as a survey where you're just going through question after question after question. Dig deeper. That is a great way to dig deeper. You go, so what's a realistic goal you want to get to? I'd like to get to 120, and you're at 70 now. Yep. What stopped you from doing that so far? And whatever he says, I don't have the time. People aren't finding me. Just word of mouth and referral. Whatever he says are the challenges and or the objections that will stop you from being able to work with him. And when you know that in advance, it's very easy to handle it in advance and just let him by.
Oh, that's because I hate sales work.
It's a tough racket, you know what I mean?
Actually, oh, it's not. It's just I just don't like doing it. Not
Okay.
Not hard. It's just,
He is full of shit. Anyone who thinks sales is not hard clearly does not know sales. The fact that he thinks that what he does in sales is hilarious. Okay? Those people call you with a need, my friend. True sales, camera, video camera, all those watching at home, true sales, you create the need. Moving on.
I personally don't like doing it.
So you don't like prospecting your clients?
But I don't much. I do talk to the people that I work for, and that's where I get most of my work.
Okay, so you would want, if you wanted to grow, right, so if you wanted to grow to this number, ideally you'd want it through referrals and repeat business.
Well, not sure if I want that, but that's what it would be.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not going to change much.
Sure. Well, hey, you know, I've always said the best direction to ride a horse is the direction it's already headed in. You know what I mean? In terms of revenue, what would you say the average client's worth? I don't need exact numbers here. I'm just kind of seeing.
How many people hate asking the revenue question? Feel very awkward about it, feel nervous, feel like you're digging too deep.
Yes. I come back.
Cool. Rule number 1, there's no such thing as too deep.
That's right.
Okay? You come back, if you're stressing it, they will pick it up.
I understand that, but I create a little
There-
more rapport and then come back to it.
I understand where you're coming from, But the fact that you feel like you need more rapport is why it is awkward to ask that question. If you don't act like it's a big deal, if you act like everybody gives it to you, watch how many people will do it.
How can you be a true consultant if you don't have the necessary info from them? And
No,
that's
exactly.
necessary.
I go back. I basically skip. I go down below that and ask them how their customers find them, and then go back to that question.
You can do that.
Yeah, I do that too.
I only
You
ask
can do
one
that, but you don't
question
need
and
to.
Go back.
No, sometimes I'll do the top part and then the third part and go back to the second one.
Sure. You don't need to.
Yeah, we don't need to.
And here's why it's a bad idea to do it that way.
Why?
Because it increases the chance of you forgetting to ask that information.
Yeah.
Because they get in a hurry, right? Towards the end, you want to go back up, but now they're rushing you, and you just want the goddamn open. So you're like, all right, let's just set the appointment. You're like, I don't really need the info, but it's so important to know what their average client is worth, because if they're on the fence about buying it, cost justification becomes the key and critical factor to push them over the edge to buy.
Yeah.
And without that info, you're going to have to get in the close. I mean, you can probably get in the close.
Yeah,
That is an option too, but I mean, here's the thing, is it helps out and increases the odds if you get it in the open. And it shows your confidence. Always better, let this be a rule of thumb, everybody write this down. It is always better to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. Exactly. And I word this in a way to where it seems a little not as evasive. So I go,
What's that? It's always better to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission.
that's right. That's right. So let's listen to how I ask this question.
I've already got a good one. It's nice.
Ideally, you'd want to do referrals and repeat business.
Well, not sure if I want that, but that's what it would be.
Okay. Okay.
Because I'm not going to change much.
Sure. Well, hey, I've always said the best direction to ride a horse is the direction it's already headed in. You know what I mean? In terms of revenue, what would you say the average client's worth? I don't need exact numbers here. I'm just trying to get a rough estimate of where you're at.
See? I said I don't need exact numbers. I'm just trying to see a rough estimate of where you're at. It literally takes the evasiveness out of that question.
Takes the pressure off.
Exactly. You're like, oh, okay, so he doesn't need me to pull out my, P&L from last week and give him those numbers. And he can just throw a roundabout number.
That's
I do-
And it
I
just
do
takes, it takes
Edge off.
it takes the edge off. It just makes it easy. It makes it conversational.
usually how you say it is usually how I go about it.
Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll say this for another meeting, but there's a certain question I keep getting every time I get to that question.
What question?
Party's over. Well, I have to. Anyone have one of those sheets? Well, I'll wait till you're done.
No, on to the question, and then
Okay,
if it's
I'll
an
start-
in-depth answer, I will wait.
Well, I have a very good way about asking about their business.
Sure.
And then when I get straight to, how many customers are you working with in a month and how many would you like to get to? That's the question.
Cool. Your problem is you're asking two questions simultaneously.
That's it.
Bingo.
If I go to one.
Yeah, so how many clients are you working with? 42. Great. And what's a realistic goal you'd like to get to?
All right.
Right?
Usually how
Watch the difference.
Usually I go times. I know times have been up and down lately, but on average, how many clients are you working with?
That's when I usually get the, I'm really not interested. I get through the other stuff easily, but that one question, so that's why I skip it and go back to it later. Of course.
One question at a time.
So when you say it.
Gotta love
Timing's
technology.
everything, man. Timing's everything.
What happened to you?
If you go like this, you see, like I'll do this, and I ask about the business, and then I ask about their marketing, and then I go back about the customer.
Is it muted on the keyboard?
So I go about their business, then
I'm going to be real quick. I got to run to a meeting here in about
I
5 minutes.
giving them.
Why are you for a deep
That's so you just did.
15 a week? They're doing, what is that, 72 a month? Okay, so you want the goal is to get another van. Well, yeah, absolutely, that'd be awesome. And what is,
My word.
okay, so if you wanted to grow, right, so if you wanted to grow to this number, ideally you'd want to,
300 maybe.
300, so that's a decent price point.
Pretty close. That's pretty close. If we're charging 45 cents a square foot,
Wow, you guys must do great work.
we do.
Absolutely, I can tell because, I work with a lot of carpet cleaners, and that is above the normal fee, but I always say you get what you pay for on this work. So, as far as...
You particularly get what you pay for when you're paying it twice. I mean, if you spend it another time next year, you better get at least what you pay for.
No joke, right? So as far as repeat customers and
So you guys notice how like I'll banter with them very briefly, build a little rapport, back to business. That is how you build business rapport. You make it, and you make yourself an enjoyable person to interact with, but we're interacting about business. That's how business rapport is built. Yes.
Kelson, on the spin part of it, the spin comes in on the ideal world question, right? The ideal.
Yeah, you'll hear.
Oh, it's an okay.
referrals. What percentage of your business would you say comes from that? You seem to feel that most of your business comes from that as of right now. Is that right?
Yeah, the big majority comes from, like your friends, their friends, and repeat customers. I mean, that's not all of it. I mean, we lose some of them, but the big majority of people that we work for again.
You hear that? He said we lose some of them. You guys notice how I have a keen focus on what he's saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm genuinely interested in what he's saying. I'm repeating back what he's saying to him so he knows I'm listening.
Right.
This is so key. These little things.
How are you following up with your past clients to minimize the amount of clients you lose?
Watch how I set up this hop-up. It's so important. And every time you guys open somebody, you should set up this hop-up.
For whatever reason.
I don't, because if I lose them for whatever reason, it's my choice. Friends and repeat customers. I mean, that's not all of it. I mean, we lose some of them, but the big majority of people that we work for again.
How are you following up with your past clients to minimize the amount of clients you lose for whatever reason?
So did you see how I took what he told me, put it into the question of the follow-up?